Welcome back everybody, my name is Nick930 and this is my final review for Turn 10's newest entry to the popular racing franchise, Forza Motorsport 7. We'll be analyzing the game's campaign, the basic handling, gameplay features, difficulty, along with artificial intelligence quality, the game's overall visual quality, performance, and we'll take a look at some of the game's multiplayer features as well. So starting off, let's look at Forza 7's main career. In Forza 7, your goal is to earn all of the cups in every championship. Each championship consists of several different series that features a good variety of racing styles ranging from hatchbacks, Indy cars, NASCAR, muscle, sports, and supers. As you progress through the different championships, you'll notice that each series will require you to complete more and more races, so at first each series will have around 3 races, but by the 3rd championship you'll be stuck going through 6 different events per series, and it can be a really tedious process. Each championship also has some fun special series that are often only one race, but have unique rules. The first one I tried was called Limo Bowling, which is actually based on an episode of Top Gear. In this event, you need to try and knock over as many pins as possible within a single lap with a stretch Cadillac limousine, and it really tests your ability to make controlled drifts, especially on straightaways. Other events include passing a minimum number of slower vehicles with a relatively fast vehicle, or starting off in a staggered race with weaker cars getting a head start. One event I didn't particularly like myself was an endurance race that requires you to complete 20 plus laps that took about 3 minutes each. I simply just don't have the patience for events that long in a video game like this, especially for such a low point payout. Completing enough events within the championship, especially placing in first in those events, will grant you the trophy for that championship and allow you to move on to the next one, and your end goal is to win the trophy for the Forza Championship at the end. The campaign will take you quite a bit of time to complete, and it does a great job of offering lots of variety throughout with many different disciplines of racing, without ever locking you into one style of racing like Project Cars 2 does. Forza 7 is just a more forgiving and welcoming racer all around. It plays really nicely for those of us that just don't like racing simulators all that much, and it really is a great starting off point. The game features a ton of unique tracks, including some really cool ones like Prague and Dubai. The game also features a massive collection of cars to collect, ranging from rally cars, sports, legendary classics, and plenty more. One major component of Forza 7 I don't particularly like, however, is the car ownership mechanic. In order to race in most of the events in Forza 7, you need to spend your earned credits on vehicles eligible for those events. The game's pacing and payout seems fine at first, but soon you'll find yourself stuck in situations where you won't be able to compete with faster cars and can't purchase anything better to make yourself more competitive. Instead, you'll be forced to lower the difficulty just so the artificial intelligence can give you a chance. But lowering the difficulty also removes the credit boost you get from winning, so you'll only end up hurting yourself in the long run. I felt the game's career design was well balanced and varied enough to keep me coming back for more, even if the car ownership can present a bit of a roadblock from time to time. Now in terms of gameplay, it's important to remember that Forza is a racing simulator, but it's a really simple and forgiving simulator. The game basically won't punish you for anything. You can smash anyone you want off the road without repercussions. I also found it to be effective to cut completely across corners in several tracks. If you screw up really bad, you can always tap the rewind button to have the race paused and rewound back before you made the mistake. Disabling this feature and any other helpful aids will grant you significantly more credits upon completing the event, but it really depends on how you want to play. The game's default handling settings are so easy that you won't even need to turn or brake, and instead just need to hold the accelerator until you win. I was able to easily tweak the settings to fit my own style of play, and since I'm more of an intermediate video game driver, I still found the handling to be far more forgiving than games like Project Cars. The game's artificial intelligence and difficulty can be easily adjusted in the game's race settings, allowing you to fine-tune every race experience even in the middle of a series if you ever find that the game is too easy or too difficult. But all it seems to really do is speed up the AI cars to unrealistic speeds that outperform your identical car every time. The AI will rarely smash into the back of you, which is good, but you'll often find yourself leading a large group of cars around turns as they're too afraid to pass you at times. You can adjust the aggressive nature of the AI, making it so they're more likely to sideswipe you, but this doesn't seem to make them better at passing. The AI just feels unnatural, and it's frustrating to see that racing games still haven't seemed to figure this one out yet. The game also has mods, which are trading cards you can collect from random loot crates that can employ special rules in each race like cockpit view only or finish in first place. Completing these challenges will award you with bonus credits at the end of the event, and will make progressing much easier if used correctly. The only way to get more of these mods is to buy random loot crates using either real money or in-game credits, so you can see how this easily turns into a pay-to-win scenario. But I never felt like I absolutely needed to buy loot crates ever, and basically only opened them when they were awarded to me for free. I personally feel like loot crates in video games should only ever award players with cosmetic items rather than game-changing items like faster cars or XP boosts. but the system doesn't seem to hurt the gameplay too badly. There's a few weather effects that can also affect the gameplay by limiting visibility or also altering handling with things like wet pavement and deep puddles or piles of sand that can pull you off the road. But Forza 7 doesn't have as realistic physics as competing racers today, and you'll find that the road conditions are pretty forgiving overall. Finally, there's the multiplayer component. There's live events that you can compete that will award you with extra credits to allow you to purchase new cars and cosmetic items. But you can also race in full races with other players, complete with all the reckless driving and nonsense you've come to expect from the multiplayer experience. The game's matchmaking seems to work great for now, and thanks to the full crossplay support, you'll never have a shortage of players even if you choose to play the game on the PC platform. Speaking of PC, let's talk about the game's visuals and overall performance. Forza 7 started off as a mess. I had several crashes when the game first released last Friday, and I was afraid the game would remain unstable for some time. But after playing it several times this weekend, the game feels far more stable. Loading times seem to be more reasonable than the last time I checked, and the overall game performance seems to be excellent, averaging at around 95 frames per second, with all the graphics set to their maximum value at 1440p. Image quality is superb and easily one of the best looking racing experiences available. But if you check the direct comparison I did with Project Cars 2 and this game, it's a little bit arguable. Sometimes Forza 7 looks great with beautiful environmental designs and great lighting effects, but then there's a ton of tracks, especially early on in the career mode, that are just so dull and plain looking that it just doesn't do the game's engine justice. Colors are basic and AI cars seem to all share the same color design, making it look really ugly. Events in Prague and Dubai look phenomenal, but then races on tracks like Silverstone just look boring. The rain effects look phenomenal, and I love how the rain specks on the windshield seem to move around based on momentum in various directions. But the specs themselves don't appear very realistic and look like little marbles rolling around on the window. Forza 7 has beautiful lighting and reflective surfaces, but the game's frequent choice of cloudy weather seems to hide this often, and the game is never given enough chances to shine. Occasionally there's some mesh pop-in with large environmental objects popping in and out in the distance, and there's several issues with the game's shadows from player and AI's headlights, but these seem like minor issues that can likely be fixed with a patch. Overall, Forza 7 is a great racing game, perfect for those interested in racing but aren't good enough to race a real car. It plays great with an Xbox controller and features some support for peripheral steering wheels, but unfortunately does not support any form of virtual reality. You can pick up the game for $60 on Xbox One or the Windows 10 store, and the game is cross-buy, so buying on either platform will make you eligible to play the other version whenever you want. I hope this video was helpful, and if you want to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe for more reviews posted every week.